everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strawberry Hill Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Simmons, and we are here at the lovely Cigar Lounge, like I always say. You guys got to come down and visit us sometimes. We got live music on the weekends. We got a great atmosphere. Come check us out. And before we get started, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us. Instagram, YouTube, Mike on the Mic on Facebook. Follow us on everything. And today, we got a special guest. Special guest. I needed to vent my mental health today, so I brought on my partner in crime, my best friend, my father figure, my brother. Everything all wrapped into one.
A bundle.
David Tiberius Toland.
I thank you. I'm so honored to be here sitting in this chair with you, Michael.
What is your middle name? Is it like Edward or
James?
something?
Edward. That's a good. No, that's fair. No, I love being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome in, man. How you been?
You know what? Overall, if I really have to be honest with you, I'm good. It's a roller coaster, like always. I'm up and down on that, but that's a broad question. But we can get details down the road. When
I went to WCBR, and you know all about that.
100%.
We'll probably talk about that.
Proud member of that.
Yeah, but they have a saying there that it's like, you ask someone like, "How are you doing?" and someone phrased it real well. It's like, "I'm struggling, but I'm struggling well."
Yeah.
So I always kept that in my mind. I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good saying," because we're not always okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're like struggling, but handling it well.
I'm struggling and I'm decent. I'm struggling and I'm decent now.
Yeah.
Well's a good thing.
Well,
good things. Yeah. I'm tracking on that.
So I wanted to thank you for coming on, and especially on your day off, because you don't get many of those.
Not a lot, but that's okay. That's my chapter I'm in.
Yeah.
I love it.
And like you've been helping me through this whole process since we started, and some people know, but a lot of people don't. We worked together at the sheriff's office like back in 2012, 2011, one of those years.
Well, I first met you in I got in on there in 2009 when we merged. When I was a park ranger, I merged into the sheriff's department, and I met you through the CERT team.
Yep.
Yeah. The ninjas, or the whatever we wanted to call ourselves that day, whatever we were feeling. But yeah, we met back then, and when you meet people, you get that feeling, and that was how it was.
Yeah, and we were in training together.
Yo,
that was probably the best times I've had at the sheriff's office. I love that.
You know what? That shaped me. That polished a lot of things and roughed up a few things. So that was a good chapter in my life. I enjoyed that. That was where I can only speak for myself, but that's where my relationship with you became solid.
100%.
And I quickly learned about having men friendships that, you can go anywhere with that person and go through the good and the bad. And I know that firsthand with you, because I went in some bad things with you. And then when you walk out of those things and you all have the same thoughts, man, that brotherhood bond is solid. And a lot of everybody out there knows that, they go through that. But anyway.
Yeah, I think one thing that we definitely bonded on is like, I think we both hit rock bottom about the same time. It
was next to each other. You 100%. Yeah. It was a uniquely timed domino effect.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right.
Yeah. So it's one thing that, you have a friendship. It's another thing that you go through a horrible time in your life, kind of almost the same time. Then we needed each other at the same time, which was a very unique thing.
Absolutely. Our tears have healed many things in my heart, brother. I tell you what, you have kept me. There were many chapters, many moments where I had a couple decisions that I could have made, and you helped me make some good ones. And I'm sitting here because of them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and I value that. Well, and so that's where you go through life, you meet those handfuls of people, and thank God you're in there.
Well, and, same here, man. I know I can always count on you to talk shop or make me feel better. Yeah. Speaking of, you helped me get over, like a lot of people, probably if they follow me on Facebook, I had to put my dog down.
God
what was it, 2 weeks ago?
God bless.
Last Thursday, but the Thursday before.
Yes.
Jesus Christ,
That's an emotional moment, isn't it?
Emotional. And
gosh.
I never thought that a dog could hold so much weight in someone's life.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I shared my moment with Blaze. Blaze was my dog that I put down, and that was, I credit that chapter in my life a very pivotal time where it polished some of the most human behavior and characteristics that we're supposed to always have. And I was reminded that, wow, this dog, well, I shared that photo with you, that dog's face just had such a peace at such a moment in its chapter where it was going, it was leaving the earth, and it knew it, and I felt it. And
it was because my dog she's almost 13. She's definitely at the end of her life. And man, it was like I knew it was going to happen, but it's like you wanted to cherish every moment. But it was it was honestly one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it's crazy to say that because it was over an animal.
Yeah.
But it was like that animal was throughout, it was in my life for 13 years. And through the bad times, the good times, like any time in my life, like no matter what, my dog was always happy to see me.
Yeah.
Didn't care about what my day was, just wanted to hang out. And it was like, the hardest part for me was like not really putting my dog down, but it was just like her die in my arms. I was like,
process.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was tough.
The emotions are strong at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm so fortunate I was able to go through that experience with Blaze in such a peaceful way and prepared way. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was so glad that I was around when you shared that was happening with you. And I immediately felt the urge to send you that.
Oh, yeah.
A photo of my moment. And because, oh my God, Blaze, that I was reminded that Blaze chose to be with me. Mm-hmm. I never really kept her on a leash. I let her live her thing. Yeah. I let her be a dog. And she was a street dog. She was ghetto as ghetto could be. I'm so sorry for anyone that thinks that I'm calling them ghetto when I'm telling you where I got her. I was a park ranger, and my ex-father-in-law, I love him to death, Sergeant Michael Hughes, KCK cop, he got her from East Patrol, East End, down in this area, actually. Mm-hmm. Just a stereotypical-looking street dog. Looked like a miniature black bear. But I ended up acquiring her. And by the time I got her, she had probably 30 puppies.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. But, she had...
I believe it, yeah.
Who knows? But she became so loyal to me. And she was so protective of the family and just the peace of my life. She protected the bubble that we had in our little family.
How long did you have her?
We had her in our, she was probably about 17 years in our circle. 17
years?
Yeah, she was probably about 20-something when she passed.
Jeez.
Loved it.
That's an old
Because she
dog.
was older when because I was a park ranger in 2005.
Uh-huh.
And so you can do the math from there. She already had puppies by then. She was pretty much as big as she was. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, but she was a long dog. Oh, and I loved that animal.
That is an old dog.
Yeah. Well, you look at the photo. She was all grayed out and black, gorgeous mutt. I called. She was just a Heinz 57. That was just it, and I loved her. And she followed around with her partner in crime was Ryan, my ex-wife's, my children's mother, dog with a golden retriever, Dan. Beautiful, purebred dog, just proud as could be. And then here Blaze is, Mutt, Heinz 57. But they were brothers. They were inseparable. And they couldn't, Anyway, I'm rambling on.
No,
so
ramble away.
Animals, God love them. I really believe they remind us what we tend to lose in our society is just our natural feelings of just good and bad
and life and death. And death doesn't always have to be real shitty, you know? I mean, it is. God, you miss it. You miss those moments. But if you experience that chapter of life because you owe them that, you know, because I look at it like if I'm laying on my deathbed, what's my thing? What do I really want to see? You know, I was well, that's a whole nother talk, but I had moments where I felt like, okay, if I died, how do I want to be treated, or what's my last memory? You know?
So
anyway, I'm sorry I went down a path.
No, I don't mind. How are you able to, I'm to the point now where I'm like, another dog, I'm like, there's no freaking way.
Yeah. You do think that, but
yeah.
you need to.
Well, how long
you need to almost whenever you feel it. You need to do it soon too.
Soon?
Yeah, I do. I believe that. I believe you do, because you're not here for just you. You're leading a little clan of kids too. Mm-hmm. So what do you want your children to be learning through this process?
Yeah, no, my daughter definitely wants
100%
another dog. Some of my son, but my daughter just keeps asking, "Where's Raina?"
Absolutely.
Like,
so here's what I did, and you do your thing. I went and started adopting old dogs, or middle aged, or my age. I started looking at it like, okay, you know what? My children just experienced death. Someone that they loved, and something that really powerful in their heart, in their chest. And if they did it right, if they felt it right, it was right here in their throat. And that's a unique feeling sometimes. And for a child to feel that, you know, now it's time to kind of guide that into other things, I think. So I started adopting older dogs. In fact, the first one I got was was Kane. Remember Sharon Gibson?
Yeah.
God love you. Sharon, I know you're out there.
Massive dog.
Oh, yes. Loved him.
Scariest dog I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The Cane Corso?
Cane Corso, yeah. And loved that animal.
All black.
A solid, well, he's solid, yeah. He had just a little bit. Beautiful dog. And he was, I think almost 8 when I got him. You know? And he was an older fella. But, oh, God, he was so protective. Those kids just clung to him. And I was able to use that as a tool to say, okay, now he's an older fella.
Yeah.
So you got to respect him. You can't climb on him like you automatically say, wow, that's a big old horse.
Yeah.
And he warmed up to him, and he did let him climb up on him. And
I remember coming to your house, and you're just like, all right, I got a huge dog. Don't make any quick movements. Yeah. Just come in. Yeah. Just let him smell you and let him know you're good. That was a huge dog.
Monstrosity.
Yeah.
I adored him. I got in a lot of trouble, though. The first night, oh, my gosh, I really don't think – I think that might have ruined my marriage. That might have been the key thing, because it was years later I ended up divorced. I'm not saying it was Kane. Kane, loved the dog. That was one of my favorites next to Blaze. But one of the 2 stories that I knew immediately this dog was our family was when I was walking up Lions Park out in Bonner Springs to this new little dog leash or dog park. And next to it, across the street, was, a apartment complex. And there was a Pitbull to a rope to the clothesline. And it was just going ape nuts. It was just going crazy. And Kane he didn't give a crud. He just walking with me. But I was paying attention. I was like, oh, shoot. It broke free of that rope and started charging at us. And I'm freaking a little bit, but I'm off duty. I'm still working at the sheriff's office. I had my pistol in my side. I put my hand on my shirt right here. Kane's in this hand. He big dog. I didn't know what he was going to do. I unhooked him. I'm like, I let go. Yeah, did you hear that? That was nice. I let go of him, and he just stands there. He didn't budge. And this dog's charging at us, and Kane just goes, he swells up. All of a sudden, he just gets big. He just must have took a lot of air in. He just kind of did an outward grunt, not a bark, nothing. That pit bull stopped in his tracks.
It's an alpha grunt.
And he immediately, they did the thing, and he walked off. And I was like,
kick. Okay, you're mine now. You're ours. And we walked off. But the second thing was my kids were inside the house by themselves, and Kane was there. I was out back playing with the chickens. That's when I had a chicken coop in the backyard. And I got a text from a friend of mine. It was my friend that was in the house working on the heating and cooling. He got chased up the stairwell by him because he walked in a door that Kane wasn't expecting him to walk in. And then when Kane saw him, he's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be in here." Chased him, wouldn't let him out the door at my kids' room. My kids were downstairs. And that was another thing. Okay, you're our dog. So we had him for years. He lived till he was 13. That's an old dog.
Old dog, yeah.
When we got him, he was 200 plus pounds, very overweight, but he was still happy and healthy. Heavy. Anyway, I'm rambling on.
You can ramble. It's fine. That's what you're supposed to do.
This is supposed to be. I wasn't. Yeah, whatever.
Speaking of animals, you mentioned your chickens. There's a funny story in this chicken coop.
There's a handful of stories with these chicken coops, and I really am surprised I didn't get fined many times by my neighborhood and friends that knew about my stories.
Yeah. So what made you get chickens? Because you had chickens and bees.
Yes, I've had a little bit. I had a farmstead out in Bonner Springs, right in Lions Park. We had around by Lions Park. I had an acre and a half. We had a house that was built in 1911 out there on Springdale. Love that little spot. But anyway, chickens. A couple things. Bugs. They eat bugs. I wanted to let them roam around the yard. And eggs.
Did you have a fence?
No,
you didn't.
No.
So how do you keep chickens?
I made a coop. I learned the rules and the law.
How do you keep them in? Like, how do they know? Like, okay, I'm not supposed to go this far.
Well, chickens are dumb and smart, I guess. Yeah, it's hard for me to really, they don't roam off too far. They like security and comfort. So once they learn that there's a place over there that, you know what, if we go over there when the sun's down, that's safe as hell. So we're going to stick around. So they go probably, I don't know, they can probably go couple hundred yards out of their circle. But we had a creek wrapping around most of ours and then a street cutting it off. So we were real fortunate to where it naturally had a border. So the chickens never messed around with it. But anyway, I had a coop, though, that I found an old foundation when I was clearing out the brush. And it must have been like the old ice house where they used to keep ice, like, just cold things. It was dug deep. But anyway, the foundation that was in there had drainage holes on each corner, little bitty ones. But anyway, I built that chicken coop on there. And that was the end of that.
No, it wasn't the end of that.
That was the start of that. I'm sorry. So
you
have a story. Which one are you talking about? Because I have a couple dog stories. I have critter stories.
Not the dog
varmints.
I want to know what
animal
happened.
Control.
What happened to the chicken coop?
Fire.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah. All right. So I'm at work. When I worked in the jail, I was the intake sergeant, just doing my thing, regular old day. I get a phone call from a babysitter. And she explains to me, saying that, "Mr. Toland, there's a fire in your house. Chicken coop's on fire." And I froze. I was like, "What? Chicken on fire?" Well, anyway, the chicken coop's on fire. The whole thing's ablazing. You have chickens running around, not knowing what the hell to do. They're running into the chicken wire, because they no escape when Dave's not there. No apologies. I created it was a burning. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily. It wasn't a rotisserie yet.
I was about to say your outdoor KFC.
Yeah, so it was on fire, and so the story that Michael here is wanting me to share is of my daughter Charlotte. She's almost 16 now, by the way. She's standing in the back door looking out at it, and it's a blaze because there's a couple pictures of it, so I know exactly how high this was. And her story is, "Dad, this chicken kept running out of the coop and then just kept running back in the fire. And I just couldn't stop but watch it. And I started to giggle. I was like, "You giggled?" She goes, "Well, I really wasn't giggling at the death of it, I guess, but it was just funny that it just wasn't smart enough to stay the fuck out of the fire."
Yeah.
But anyway,
So I learned a little bit about my daughter that day. That
Yes, a little crazy. It's
I'm a
all right.
little. My ex-wife, and Ryan and I, we created 3 lovely children, but there's always a little piece of them that I always want to keep my eye on, and I advise you too.
Oh, I know. I told you
seen your
Quinn
2
is
kids.
Quinn is crazy.
Yeah.
Did you get any chickens after that, or did any survive?
That was the end of it. So I try not to always go to the very ending of this story because it's a sad chapter of my life. Because I really love chickens. I had a lot of joy in that, and thankfully there's no photos because it would have had tear.
Well, you had bees too.
Oh yeah. Well, so backing up to the chickens, you actually got. It made every one of them. When I went there the next morning, because I ended up just staying there, because I found out the Bonner Springs Fire Department ended up showing up, putting it out. A big tanker truck drives into my yard, but probably about 100 yards back into my place. And there's a big old, whatever, they're putting it out. And so we had some firefighters that are family to Bonner, so I have all my deputies telling me now, hey, my brother was at your backyard putting out your fire, and now everybody's talking shit, oh, David, you killed all your chickens, you were fucking murderer. I'm sorry. And I had deputies for the rest of my shift harassing me for the rest of it, so I've got like true hurt in here in my soul.
And people are talking smack.
And I'm feeling it. And then I got people talking smack on me as well. So anyway, when I finally get there, there's all my chickens in different places where you can see where they tried to get out, but they failed because fire and got them. And they looked just like I was standing in the Walmart meat area with the rotisseries in the bags, minus the bags. And I was thinking, God damn. We just cooked all these chickens for the local dogs and the foxes and the birds. So that was my way of giving back to the wildlife in Bonner Springs, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, that was.
And then bees. Yeah,
bees, I love bees. We got bees because I got tired of just buying the stuff that you have to get to make chapsticks and candles and all that. And so we went down the Ozarks and got 2 beehives, and you buy them in these. You buy the queen in these little matchbox looking things.
And then they come by itself, right?
Yeah, and then they always have about 4 or 5 of them that actually love her, and they're tending to her, making sure she doesn't get, she doesn't die by herself. And then they give you a box of about 20 to however many thousands you buy from them, and it was about 5 pounds, I don't know.
5 pounds.
You know what?
Of bees?
Some beekeeper's going to talk smack on me because I ain't going to be
a lot of
wrong about the
beekeepers are watching
pounds.
this podcast.
Well, you never know. You never know. Strawberry Hill, you never know.
Yeah, very true.
But it came in a wooden box, and the queen was on top, but stuck in this hole where everybody could see her but couldn't get to her. So we got 2 of those and set them up. And I instantly fell in love with that profession. So all the beekeepers out there, that you keep going on that, because I found some great mental health moments there. I would sit there on this crappy old iron bench that you would see at the cheap neighborhood pool, and I would sit on there. I'd smoke a cigar because that would calm them all down. That would keep them away from my face.
How often did you get stung?
Not as often as you would think, because honeybees are very passive. They're very laid back. They're chill. That's why I think I liked them so much, because we had pretty much the same energy. But you fucked with them, you got fucked with, and they hit you hard. And and I feel like that's why we vibed. And I probably realistically maybe 7 or 8.
That's not too bad.
Not at all.
I think 1 for me, I'd be like done. I'm like,
or
all right.
you could be if you were allergic to them.
I'm not allergic. I just don't like pain.
Well, they're throbbing. Now, a yellow jacket's a whole lot worse. If you've ever been bit by a yellow jacket, I would take a honeybee any day. A honeybee is more of a direct impact pain, kind of like a drive stun on a taser. Not that anybody likes those. They're painful. But imagine that stun compared to getting tased by a cartridge.
Yeah. Okay,
2 totally different pains, right? you'll tolerate one a little more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather get bit by or stung by a honeybee any day than a yellow jacket. Those little dirty bastards. Those ones that live in the ground where you're mowing. Next thing you know, they come kicking your ass because you pissed them off because you chopped over them with like a lawnmower blade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's, hey, you provide that.
I feel like I need to get some bees to put out front.
They make.
You know why I'm saying that? Because I'm
100%.
getting tired of. Remember, we talked about this. There's this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he's not watching, but there's this homeless guy that comes
You might know.
every single week,
Yep.
and he's stolen my solar lights.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken plants. He just recently took one of my. I don't even know what kind of plant it was. Took it out. And then he knocked over my planter one time. I'm like, why are you fucking with me?
He's just a mischievous little turd, isn't he?
Every night. Not every night. It's like once a week. It's like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. Like, I know who you are.
It's like a replay.
And I'm sure you don't have a
events.
phone or computer that you're watching this right now.
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, thinking his little apartment or his little cubby hole out in the trees back there, or
I'm
wherever
sure
they're
it
at.
is the most beautiful homeless camp
100%.
he has.
The beautiful vegetation.
Vegetation
he's got a
everywhere.
garden going on because
Yeah.
we've had lavender and dill. Remember the mint and all that?
It's
We had
taken all of it.
Yeah, because we had everything planted out there that we can make great.
People are like,
cocktails.
you should call the cops. Like, I was a cop. That is nothing I'm going to bother them with.
Yeah,
Like,
you'd probably get-
someone stole my plant.
it would be funny. The first officer that would drive up here to take that report, the whole time they're taking notes, they would be cussing you.
Of course.
They'd be like, you,
Yeah, like,
you
I
of
can't
all
believe-
people sent my ass down here
For
to
some
write
plates.
this. Okay, and so he's probably not even writing anything legit. He's probably cussing you to give to the person in the records to say, you know what Simmons did? Check this BS out. Called us on some stolen fucking mint.
I'm waiting. Like I told you, I'm
Sorry.
gonna plant some rose bushes out front because I think it's a little bit harder to steal rose bush because of thorns.
Well, he would probably do it
He's
just to
gonna
be
figure it
determined
out.
to
Yeah.
validate and prove that
And
he's
then
going to
I'm
win.
gonna say, you know what, you win.
Yeah, but if you do it again, he probably wouldn't do it. Like, he would take the first batch of thorns and accept the thorns stuck in his hand, and he would hold it with high and pride that he won that.
Yeah.
But
No, it's
I bet he wouldn't do it again the second
it's the
time.
same guy.
Yeah,
Just
because
keeps
it's like a
messing with
replay with different items of yours. Like, he comes and he sits down, because I saw that video.
He
and it's
comes,
like,
he sits down, and he looks around. I don't know why he looks around. There's no one out at 3:30 in the morning right in front. Like I said, we need to do like ambush him one night. Like,
Well.
just come out and I gotcha. Stop stealing our plants.
or just sit next to him and have a conversation and just start smoking.
I'm sure
and
it'd be a great conversation.
and don't even act like who we are, and see where it takes us.
I'm sure he was the same guy that stole the ashtray out front with the stump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like 2 times. We sat one on there just because of our trust in humanity, and that really disappeared like instantly, of course. Duh. But then we screwed one down, and it got ripped off.
Yep.
But then we screwed and glued down one onto a stump, like a heavy stump. And you saw this one. Did you see him do this?
Yep.
What did he
Same
do?
guy. Came, sat down for a little bit, looked around, and picked up the stump and just walked away.
Yeah, he picked up a tree stump,
Yeah.
and wandered off to base camp, to wherever that
Base
is.
camp.
I wonder, it must be not. Maybe it's near Call Point.
I don't know, but it's got to be a nice. He's got ashtrays, he's got plants, he's got solar lights, he's got who knows what he's taking out there. So kudos to him. I'm just furnishing his his homeless camp.
Or our neighbor over here has a lot of dead plants in a corner
Very
he hasn't
true.
found yet.
Yeah.
And maybe by another month or so, he'd be like, oh my gosh, those were good
I
looking.
did see the last time he took one of the plants. There was like a dirt trail all the way around the building. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But then it like ended. I was like, oh, I wonder what he did with it. So, how was your Father's Day?
You know, my father's, it wasn't bad. It was good. I came in here, did a few hours here, and those hours here, I was able to reflect, and I was able to do some deep work, clean. because you don't clean very well.
I clean. I don't clean as much as you do. I clean. Don't get me wrong.
No. Let's be clear.
Don't
words
try to call
are different.
me out now.
I use words differently. You said much. Okay, you do clean a lot, but it's just how we clean.
Yeah, you clean
is so
like
different.
Like you're like,
I clean proper.
There's dirt here. Let me wipe it off. And I'm just like, I'm fine with the book being dirty.
Okay, I think you just heard our differences. I clean. Nah.
Yeah.
So that's why I love. Anyway,
that's why I love you being here because
I'm the best ass cleaner, and I clean. Yeah, whatever.
No, but when I do, and I tell people all the time, what I do respect and love about you is that you treat this like it's yours. So I like 100%.
Yeah. Well, listen to me, man. I'm vested in you. Yeah. You better succeed because the time for you riding on my coattails is done, brother. It is my turn. And it is going to be a good ride.
Yeah. So, no,
it's
Father's
bumpy
Day.
As shit. Oh.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
But I'm having trust and faith. Sometimes issues, but I'm there with you. But no, Father's Day was good, man. I came in here, I did my few hours of punishment and community service. A couple good members came in right at the end. I'm going to be straight with you. God love you. I'm going to be straight. I was cussing them at first because I cleaned this place like no one else except me, and it was kick-ass in here. Mm-hmm. But then we had some really good conversation there for a brief couple moments. They were here, and they respected that we were leaving. You came in at the very end. I saw your two kids. That right there, I'm a big kid person. I've always been very proud of me understanding the role of chapters in life, and anyway, I'm going down a whole other path, but and then I ended up driving down to Mound City where my ex-father-in-law was down there, Michael Hughes. He has some property down there. My kids were down there. Mm-hmm. So I hung out with my girls and we goofed off and came back, and that was about all she wrote. So it was good and peaceful. Good. And
was getting any presents?
I got some cards, and I got I'm not big on gifts unless they have some meaning. Mm-hmm. And those little bastards. I got a big old thing of black licorice. Oh. Right? I don't need any more junk food.
I know, he likes
but they
black
know
licorice.
I love it so much.
It's so disgusting.
You are a horrible man.
No.
That's a mild bully form because you just said something that I like was disgusting. My feelings are hurt.
My opinion
in today's
of that
society,
candy,
you can't talk like that to me, mister.
My opinion of that candy is that it's not very good. That sound better?
I can second that.
Yes.
Now, where did you come from? Did we have 3 people in this podcast? You have
now we do.
I thought these guys back there are just supposed to be there.
The Black Licorice Podcast.
Black Licorice Podcast. So, okay. So anyway, what's messed up is I ate, just to confirm how, I ate the whole bag that night, and it was a big family size value one, and it was fucking delicious.
It doesn't sound.
It was fresh. Black licorice is great, but that was I learned my I got my love of licorice from a childhood memory, a childhood experience that when I was young, I would grow up watching Love Boat and Fantasy Island and stuff like that. But we would always get to go to the store and get a treat, and we always picked our candy. Mm-hmm. And my mom was big on making Gorp.
Making what?
Gorp.
What?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Gorp. It's like you had peanuts, M&Ms, raisins, just a cluster of a plethora of stuff. Like it's trail mix, but she called it Gorp.
I'm thinking like you're like baking something. Like that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, that's a different story. I don't always tell my stories with all the details.
Trail mix. Okay.
It's trail mix.
Right.
Thank you. See, you know what? If I learned a little more notes like that, my stories could be considerably shorter.
Like, it's called Gorp. It's like you put raisins, M&Ms, peanuts, and I was like, what is this meal? Okay.
Yeah, trail mix.
Yes.
You would immediately knew.
Yeah.
But then it would have been,
Why do they call it Gorp?
I can't answer that. Okay. I'm sure if I would have had time to think about it, I would probably been able to explain each letter of the word.
No worries.
But my candy of choice was black licorice. You know, because my dad liked black jelly beans. We always had jelly beans in the house. And my dad and I would always get to the bag first if we could to get the black licorice. And he didn't give me any slack. He didn't care if I was 4, if I was 13. He'd knock me down out the way just to get them black licorice. Mm-hmm. So I respected that. So I had to do that in turn. And I would never get them, usually.
I don't know.
So my licorice. Sorry.
I don't know how. I'm sorry. I even like the thought of that black licorice, just like ugh.
Well, I think it's just an acquired taste.
It definitely is an acquired
You know,
taste.
I mean, my palate. You know, maybe I don't know. I'm a unique fella, and I admit that. But that's okay. My mom used to always challenge her and me. She never could find anything that I didn't like to eat. And to this day, I haven't really found. Like right now, I can't think of anything that I don't like to eat.
I think there's really one thing I don't like to eat. Well, I guess 2 now, black licorice. But
You're such a belly.
I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. But crab rangoon.
Oh,
I know.
you're going to hell for that.
I can't.
You know that.
I can't do it.
That's a treasure.
And the thing is, it's like I can eat cream cheese on certain things, and I can eat shrimp. But if I mix the 2 together, it's just like ugh.
Have you ever tried to have the wrap
I've tried all of it.
baked where it's crispy?
Yep.
Kind of like really.
Everyone always says like, "Oh, you got to try it this way, that way,"
And not as much.
And I
of the-
know why. The first time I had it, my mom made it, and I threw up on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
And
drinking
now every
your first
time-
bottle of tequila.
Yeah,
and you
every
just get
time I
ruined by
eat it, that feeling and that
you
taste.
Man, that's when you learned you can get PTSD. You have that.
Yeah,
You
that's
can-
my first form of PTSD.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Well, yeah, I can't eat that. I can't eat crab rangoon. Just can't do it.
Well, I'm
And
gonna
then
tell you
black
something.
licorice, I
You're
guess.
missing a lot of parties, a lot of
What do you have? Crab rangoon parties?
Yeah,
kind of parties are
that
you
was a
at?
wrong choice of words.
Crab rangoon and black licorice parties.
Yes, at the same time, you
At
know.
the same time.
And we our drink of choice is peanuts with Coke.
Yeah.
You know, Coke and peanuts.
Well, I've heard that.
Yeah,
You
that-
don't do that, do you?
Oh, I love doing that.
What?
Yeah, you know those glasses
I'm
that
learning so much about you. What
well, I
glasses?
don't talk a lot much lately. So, but you know those glasses that we have here with all the parts and stuff that we use up here for like sodas with the handle. You don't either.
Yeah, no,
You're
you-
just
like, why don't you
agreeing
give
with
the
me. You're
scooter?
like, come on, David, just
Why don't you
talk.
give the
You're
scooter?
spilling it out. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you are valid. Then
Yeah.
you do know what I'm talking about. Well, those are the ones that I remember as a kid because my dad got those when he worked at Lone Star Cement.
Oh, those are yours?
Those were mine. Where'd you think you got
I have
those?
no clue.
You
People
don't
bring glasses all the time.
You do remember? I'm here too. You know, you're not the only one that puts stuff in here.
Very true.
So anyway, those were my childhood glasses.
Why did you bring them here? I don't want anyone to break them.
Oh my gosh, Michael! Those are the things that you're
very
telling me not to bring in.
clumsy-
I've got my dad's sculpture over
Yeah,
there.
but those are hanging on the wall.
That is not hanging on
Not
the
that,
wall.
but no one's going to mess with that.
My
People-
dad's pineapple right next to you, which
is-
is he brought from the
You
Philippines.
sure? Well, yeah, your dad was, you know what pineapples mean, right?
I do, and I also know that you're not taking it away.
No.
And you knew exactly. And I noticed that you put it upside down occasionally. Why isn't it upside down?
Hey, you know,
Yeah,
things
so
get
don't-
wild in the shop.
I know what I'm looking at.
So wait, no, Coke and peanuts.
Oh yeah. It's gotta be. It's gotta be salted peanuts though, because
What?
lightly
Do you like
salted.
just put them in Coke?
It depends on your vibe. Sometimes if you like the bubble, sometimes if you like it to be bubbly, where some of the salt and like the peanutty
This is
residue
wild.
kind of bubbles up with it on top. You know how it usually fizzes up to the top? Well, or if you don't like that, which I've graduated where I don't like it because I've got the mustache and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
I put the peanuts in first and then kind of gently pour and yeah, whatever. But no, I love peanuts in my Coke, man. I'm just that loony.
That's
man.
an odd thing, but I guess.
Well, I grew up.
each their own.
My dad shared me a lot of unique things.
I
Man.
don't know if
He's
anyone
from
else does that.
Galveston. Oh, I promise you, if we were live, there'd be somebody saying, "You know what? I support you. I support you in your peanuts
Yes,
and Coke."
please.
Promise
If anyone
you.
out there
Now,
drinks Coke with peanuts, please let me
say
know.
something, anything.
Say-
I don't care.
Validate Dave because this is the
100%.
first.
My dad's he was born He's from Galveston, Texas.
Uh-huh.
But he was born in Baton Rouge, and so he had a lot of travels, and he did a lot of things, and he picked up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like an overseas thing.
I'm not sure because I know a lot of Southerners that do that. I think this is a Southern thing.
You know what I can never understand is, and I've seen people do this all the time, pineapples and cottage cheese.
I'm down with that.
I know you are, and I don't understand that at all. That seems like it's the most gross thing.
You eat unhealthy. You're an unhealthy man.
Because I don't eat cheese and fruit together?
Possibly. You don't know. You don't make good choices. But that's a good. I mean, you don't want to put a lot of the pineapple juice in there. Then it gets kind of gross.
It's gross.
Totally. It's got to be. You kind of have to dry off the pineapple just a little. That's my preference. Ugh. I don't like it too runny. That sounds weird.
Yeah, it's all good.
So I'm tracking on that.
Yeah.
I know you like this. I don't know about all the details on how you like making it, but one of my favorite meals or snacks is a sardine sandwich.
Okay, so that's not weird, though.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I like getting, and I've changed my sandwich up a little bit. I like getting those the Hawaiian buns that you can get? Well, they make Hawaiian bread, and they're sliced. So I'll toast that to those slices.
Sardine it up.
Oh, it gets better, baby. Yeah, I do. I put a little bit of mayonnaise on there just like so, and I have to do it like so because I like to present what I'm doing because my kids don't like it because it smells up the house. They say, of course it smells up the house. I'm making a beautiful sardine sandwich. I want everyone to know what I'm going through. And so I slapped it on there. I put my sardines on there. Sometimes I'll slice up a little, not lately, because this is where I get my kick. I'll thinly slice radishes. I'm talking thin, right? Just lay them all over my sardines. Bam. Sometimes I'll either put a pepper, it just depends, or lettuce occasionally. And I'll go kind of nutty and put some, when I really feel fancy, I get out the Grey Poupon.
Grey Poupon.
And I go from that town. Yeah, sardine sandwich. Anyway, I went way off the
It's all right.
trail there.
We just talked about eating some weird stuff.
Well, I eat crickets down here.
Yeah.
Remember when
Carlos brings crickets.
Yes.
And I ate it.
One of our
first
favorite
time I ate
members
it, it's not
at the lodge.
bad, but
At the
the
lodge
first time I
lounge.
ate it, the leg got stuck in my throat, and it freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know what they're called, insect biology. The ones when they rub together, they make all the noises. It was that piece, right? Did it jam in there like a barb on a fish hook? Yeah.
But they're good. I will say, I just eat one, and I have to really not think about what I'm eating.
Yeah. Well, I ate the whole bag.
Oh my Lord!
Dude, he gave them to me the other night, and I ate a couple of them. They were different seasoned this time. It was kind of like
I had the
salt and
spicy
vinegar
one. Yeah, I didn't have
with
that one.
a little bit of chili lime kind of vibe. It was a
sounds
unique, and it had like a oily residue in it, kind of like you're eating real buttery, delicious popcorn kind of thing.
That's not. Nope, that's not it.
Sometimes when you eat things, Michael, you have to tell your mind.
Tell your mom eating some
What's
nice
mind over
popcorn.
matter. I coach. I learned very quick. Mind is a very powerful tool. But those were good. I'll eat more if he ever brings them in here.
No. Hey, before we end, I want to talk about you doing Special Olympics stuff.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. How long have you been doing it?
2014 is when I got asked to coach my first Special Olympics, and I've been doing it ever since.
And you've been coaching soccer, since 19 or something?
88. I was in 1988. I was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This should be my 36th year coaching. I started coaching in the Bonner Springs Edwardsville Soccer League. That morphed into me and a handful of parents starting the Edwardsville City League. Mm-hmm. This was in the 90s. And then I morphed up into starting the Bonner Springs High School Soccer Club program. And fast forward into a lot of other things. I was asked to coach Special Olympics for Kansas Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. Or at the time it was Unified, which is half the players have an intellectual disability or some type, and the other half don't. And
you mean the other half don't? There's nothing wrong with them?
Well,
I shouldn't say it like that, but there's...
Well, they're not considered either on the spectrum, or they don't have any type of an intellectual disability or a physical handicap. And it would be what most would consider a stereotypical varsity high school player, is what they also call partners, a unified partner. And then there's unified athletes that are either on the spectrum.
So they're not playing on the team.
Oh, no, they are playing on a team. That's why it's called unified sports.
Oh,
so what we do, what Special Olympics...
play together.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Exactly. What Special Olympics used to do is it was only people with disabilities.
That's what I thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, and they didn't mean to do this, it created inclusion, or it created, that separation or whatever. And so now it's unified sports is what they're doing. It's a huge campaign, been very successful. And I got into that back in 2014, and I just fell in love with it because of all my coaching, 36 years of coaching soccer, the time being involved in Special Olympics has just polished not just my coaching, but my human behavior, my heart, my character. And by watching the athletes who choose to participate in that type of program or sports that don't have to be there, watching those younger athletes compete with athletes that don't always get that opportunity, and not letting, and just getting involved and just knocking them around, treating them just like anything else, and just giving it to them, showing up when they need to show up. And that's what I got addicted to, and I loved it. And so that's what's kind of kept me alive. Anyway.
Yeah, you love coaching.
I do.
I love coaching too, but you're a whole nother level.
I do. It's brought a lot of good and bad in my life too, because I worked my life around coaching. And I've not always made the right choices when it's come to my managing of my life sometimes. I've had a lot of jobs because I molded all my jobs around my coaching schedule. If the job didn't work with my schedule, I'd wash my hands of it, regardless if it was a good one or not. I made some extremely financial, costly decisions because of the love of what I was doing. And I still am doing that. And that's why sometimes when you truly find something that you love, you just keep on doing it. And you struggle through things. You go through the struggles, and you kind of get to a point and you realize, the victories and the good things and all the positive things that come from that, and the rewards that all those good deeds pay off. You just got to hold on. You just got to hold on. And this, Special Olympics and the unified sports part of it is what. And my three children are actually the parts of my life that keep me going. So.
Yeah, there's
that was it.
Yeah, I remember us coaching, not Special Olympics, but coached a girls basketball team.
Yes,
I forgot how old. I think they were kindergarten.
Yes,
and the boys' first grade team. Basketball,
the
Black Potatoes.
Yeah, Black Potatoes.
I don't know why they called themselves the Black Potatoes.
Our uniforms were black. We were in the Kerry Roberts League up right at you, Kerry Roberts out in Bonner Springs, and both teams, the girls and the boys. And that was an awesome team. One of my favorite photos of you and me, Michael, are a picture of the team. I have that to this day, and I keep that. My son's in there.
Bring it in, because I haven't seen it.
Well, I love it. It's our team photo, the Black Potato. It's on a keychain. And in fact, one of my favorite people in the world, Denise Chowning, who coaches with me, she's the one that got me into unified sports and coaching Special Olympics. Her son, Jacob's was on that team. And then on the girls' team, I ended up what was an amazing, one of the reasons why I love coaching so much, and I mold my life around it, is the stories, the relationships, the histories, the things you're making and creating. And a giant circle evolved in one of our athletes that we played. Do you remember the athlete that we nicknamed sometimes Sherman or Tank? Or she was the powerhouse. She was making all the shots.
Yeah.
She was a girl. I ended up becoming a para this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got hired up at the high school to be a paraprofessional, and she was in one of my classes. And her and I bonded immediately, and she remembered me. And she remembered a lot of memories that I didn't remember. And that right there kept confirming things that I experienced constantly that make me realize that's what I want to keep doing is coaching. Because she carried a memory for her all the way. And she was in 10th grade. She's in 10th grade now.
Yeah, and that was from all the way from, I think, like
her last name's
kindergarten.
Ballard. But that was back then. And it was, so I personally have 36 years of coaching.
Jeez.
Of 36 years of kids that can come up and tell me good or bad things. And I've had them, oh my God, I've had good or bad people come up and tell me good or bad things. I've had them happen to me in the jail, kids I coached. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to coach your kids because I see some things in Roman especially that I'm going to get. All you grassroots soccer players out there, I'm going to get them into that. So I got to get Christina to approve. So come on, Christina, I need you to say yes. So somebody, please come down here and buy a shop membership, a VIP membership that Michael has to like first. You have to go through the
screening
process. But we need you to make him some money so we can get Roman on a soccer team that kidding. I'm going to coach.
Are we good on time?
I'm sorry, I get rambling on. No, I didn't talk about what you really want.
No, this has been
right on.
I know we wanted to talk about life and mental health, but I like talking about you. This is fun.
Oh, shoot.
You know what's funny? I got two things before I want to end it. There is a show on HBO that I haven't got to watch yet, but I'm going to, and it reminds me of you.
Oh, boy.
It's called Ren Fair.
Come on. I'm going to be, please.
And it's about the Renaissance Festival.
I'm going to be, I have a bad feeling. I know the trailer you're going to be talking about.
No, I haven't seen it yet, and I want to watch it.
I don't know, man.
I was like, there's no way there's a show about the Renaissance Festival. And there is. And I was like, I have to tell Dave about this. Those of you who don't know, Dave was a Rennie for like 42 years. I don't know.
A long time. That was a chapter of my life that I cherish, and I also tend to want to forget a couple of the moments, but 90-some%, I love that chapter of my life. But backing up to what you brought up, I saw the trailer.
Did you really?
Yes. Someone sent me that because they have the same bucked up mind you do. And they're like, oh, Dave was a Rennie. Because they called me out and teased me about it. Uh-huh. But I watched it. That looked.
You watched the show or the trailer?
No. Just the trailer. Uh-huh. So I can't say and give a good review or a bad review. But the review or the trailer, it looked too much like I was watching an outdoor play.
Oh yeah.
What I went through was like real.
Yeah.
Renfest.
Well, I wanted to watch it with you because I'm gonna be like, tell me the true stories of this stuff.
I would have shared every one of them. I tell you, I got some good ones. I love them.
That's a whole nother podcast itself.
Yeah,
all the
is.
Ren stuff.
That chapter of my life shaped me in ways good and bad, but it also planted some seeds in me that I love that I have because it got me really involved in, like, it's kind of weird to bring it up, but situational awareness, paying attention. So Hulk Hogan, I got to have a small chapter with him down there.
And weren't you like security for him or something?
Terry.
Yeah, weren't you security for him?
Yeah. I just walked around, make sure nobody.
His name's like Terry, like Bulbaga or something like that.
And he passed on some words to me that I really took, and that was when I learned about presentation and image. And
did he call you brother? Hey, brother.
Well, no, he called me David. He talked differently, because I saw him behind scenes and in front of the camera. You know, there wasn't any cameras there because we didn't let that stuff. This was in 96.
Yeah, it's like
right?
probably the height of his career.
Yeah, and so we're in Florida.
Still the height of his career, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We're in Florida. His children came with the second day. This was a 2-day event that I had him with, my experience with him. First day, he brought his buddies with him, and it was like the chapter where if you and I went, you know, or some of our other buddies went. The next day was where we bring our girls and our children. You know, that was the second time. But the first time, I learned a lot of things by character and presentation on how you looked and how important it is, how important image is, regardless. And sadly, that morphed into how some of my toxic traits, too, have occurred because I've learned the value of masks and ways to
I'm saying right there with you.
Look apart when in here you're not apart. But the Renfest, I credit that as a chapter that saved me too, you know. So it's got a big special piece in my heart.
Now, speaking of masks, like I was going to hit on that topic, but I mean, I can't talk about it. But yeah, it's one of those things you learn. Like you learned early. I learned with the sheriff's office. It's like you have to put on. You don't have to put on the mask, but you kind of learn to put on a mask to make sure you kind of tell everybody you're okay.
Yeah,
you're really not, or you're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, and you just got to make sure that it looks like that you're doing okay. Sure. And
it depends on the level of where you're at in wherever you're at in your life. You know, people, depending on how many people look up to you or look to you for guidance or advice, you know, if you've got people that rely on you for words of encouragement or words of anything to keep them going through their life, then you need to show up. And that's how I was raised. And fuck, it drains you. It has cost me monetarily. It has cost me mentally. It has done a lot of things with me. But I still do it because I feel like that's an important part of me.
I think a lot of us still do it. I still do it, and I don't even mean to do it. I definitely, like, because I learned it at the sheriff's office, and then I got out, and I opened this, and then I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking of this, the way it is done in here.
It's done different.
It's in a service capacity. However, I really feel like the mask that we are wearing in here drains me differently. It drains me in a whole nother aspect to where I feel it different. You know, there, I was a little more able to be frank. I was able to be hard truth. Every damn word come out my mouth was hard truth, but it was always truth. And it is here too, but it's got to be polished differently.
Yeah.
You know, and I struggle in here. Man, because you got so much on the line out here in this room, in this place, in these walls, in this roof, and it looks fucking kick ass in here, but it's.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it because it's like you're a cop and it's like you can be shitty with somebody. You're not. No one cares if you get a 1-star review. The Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office page.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you do that in here,
oh my gosh,
yeah, it's detrimental to your business. So you gotta.
And at the jail, you needed to do that to run it properly.
Yeah. Because
what's crazy thing in that profession, you have to orchestrate violence sometimes to create peace. And it's just the craziest profession in the corrections is crazy. It's a handful of jobs left in society. And I've mentioned this before. You are exposed to some of the most primitive human behaviors we can do as humans inside walls of any jail setting, prison, whatever. And it gets to you. It does things to you. Well, if you're in a position where people are looking up to you and they're coming to you for guidance or anything, and you and I both were in those seats because we both were in training, you can't act like any of that's bothering you. You can't be that weak person. And I hate to say it, and I didn't mean to say weak, but you can't, you got to be very strong. You got to have a smile. You got to act like this is the first time you've gone through that same conversation, even though it's about the 12th time. you just got to clean the mask off.
It's tough. And then that's what, when I talked about wearing masks, it's like, it's so exhausting sometimes. And that's why it's like on my days off, I'm just like, I'm hardly ever around anybody.
Yeah.
I just kind of need my own peace, which brings me to a little bit before we end the WCPR part. So which stands for West Coast Post Trauma Retreat, which is a part of First Responder Support Network. But I'm going to tell you and other people out there, like, we do have a meeting here every third Monday, since we're closed, every third Monday here, and it's just for first responders and people that were first responders. It's kind of like a peer support group, and like I was like, you need to start coming. I need to start coming more.
Yes,
because I've been to the first one. I haven't been to the last two, but I need to make the next one. But we have them here at the shop. And if you want any more info, contact me, or actually really just contact me. But yeah, we do that here. And I think it's really beneficial because I think a lot of times, us and first responders, we need a safe place to vent.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I credit that chapter. That really refocused me. That really got me grounded again. It saved me. It helped save my life. It
saved my life too.
Yeah.
It's an awesome program.
I was fortunate to go in the early parts of the discussion of getting this. I went to Napa Valley's campus.
Mothership.
And you want to talk about being able to be free from everything and just if you go in it right, which not everybody does, but if you actually legitimately go in it right, and most of us do because we're so desperate. Mm-hmm. However, we got walls, right? But we have the walls in there, but that place was so peaceful.
And then once you get in there, you don't want to leave.
100%. You feel so safe. And I don't know if you can see it, but...
Yeah, JFU.
We got the little button right behind us in that little button.
I know I have a retreat coming up in September, and I am I have a vacation at the end of this month, and then that retreat in September, and I'm looking more forward to that retreat than I am the vacation that's the end of this month.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to be honest with you. I've only done the retreat. I've only gone to the one in Napa Valley, and I need to go to the local ones because the ones that I went to, the brothers I went with, they turned into family. Mm-hmm. That because you get a small crew of you, and you hear the depth of stories, but then you get occasional of them. You're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing in here? Everybody's got different levels of.
Everybody has their own trauma.
Oh yeah, they do.
Well, cool. We'll end it so we can keep going for another 2 hours if we wanted to, which we normally do here without the mics.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, I'm glad that you brought me on.
Always come on the mic and do this anytime. Gives me time to vent. Gives you time to vent.
And I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I gotta get
you
off
are
this
a
microphone.
peeing man.
Well, I got to keep a clean bladder. It's about keeping your kidneys healthy. Drink cranberry juice and water.
Do you have cranberry juice?
No.
Oh,
I just said that to the camera.
It's like I will.
It's an
drink
adult
all of that.
coffee.
Coffee.
It's got a little bit of homemade Baileys in it. Carlos, he made some stuff.
I didn't know there was a. Are you hiding it?
He told me. Well, I'm not. Members. This is their place. I'm not supposed to share everything.
Okay.
Members do what they do.
All right.
However, there's a stash in there, and he did tell me, which I'm doing now on the mic here. He said, if you drink it though, Dave, you gotta let me know so I can bring some back for us. So I drank some. So bring some back for us. It's just some good old homemade Baileys.
All right, I'll have to try it. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, this has always been a pleasure.
You're my brother. I love coming on.
Love you too, my friend. And thank you guys for joining in. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell whenever you can, or whenever you want to follow us. It'd be great too. Like I said, we're on Facebook, Mike of the Mic, Instagram, Strawberry Hill Podcast, and YouTube. And
come and buy a cigar because I gotta keep him paying my bills. So.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, I
buy cigars and come visit us often. Yeah. Yes.
I gotta go.
He's got to go. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.